Okay, Terry, this is your January 8th session. So we'll walk through and explain the lines that we draw on every video. Okay, the first one, we want to establish the swing plane. And we'll do it in yellow. Now, I could draw a million of these lines. A million of these lines, but now the club, the shaft, doesn't have to be on one of the yellow lines or another. It just has to remain parallel. Okay, and the further it gets off from the swing plane, it's an unneeded movement, and then it takes a compensating movement to put it back on the swing plane when it comes down to hit. So now that's where inconsistency comes from, because you're trying to make a correction. You can't make the same correction each time. Like if you drag it off line a foot and a half one time, the next time maybe only 8 inches. And then the correction has to be compensated. So that's where inconsistency comes from. Your game is fine. You just have to be more consistent. I mean, when you have everything lined up and the compensating errors are lined up, you can hit it as well as anybody. But you don't hit it like that 9 out of 10 times. So, I mean, that's actually to your benefit. Is most people spend a lot of time working on club head speed. No, you've got it. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's the swing plane. And again, why is the swing plane important? Because when we take it away and come down, it's got to be right there to hit the ball. Otherwise, we're going to whiff or whatever else. Okay, so that's the swing plane. Now the next line is hand path. Okay, and then we draw the butt board, and then we draw lines that will tell us if there's any head movement. So there's really nothing that's going to escape us from this angle. Okay, so then here we'll just play this thing through. Kind of slow motion here. Really an athletic swing. It's really solid, but let's do a deep dive here on where the inconsistencies can come from. Okay, so position 1 is good. I mean, the posture is good. I've never seen anybody with their chin up that high, which is excellent. Most people have it buried, and then the shoulder bumps in their chin, and they have all sorts of problems. That's really good. So when we get to here, when the club is first parallel to the ground, here's the shaft. See, it's nowhere near as parallel to the swing plane, right? And toe of the club is sort of up. So you kind of drag it inside, and what the model looks like is, whoops, when he's first parallel to the ground, See how the shaft comes out of the screen? So it's basically right over his toe line.
So he's kind of swinging it out.
Well,
Swinging it
he's not manipulating with his hands. You're getting inside because you got this thing going on. The only thing that happens with the wrist is this. So it's like this. If you just do one piece takeaway, it's going to be right on here. You gotta get your wrist going like this. Your arm kind of breaks early. So at this point, see how your right arm is bent? His is straight. Okay. So if I have it like this and I just bend my right arm, look, it pulls it in here. It also I lose width. So
like I said, it looks like he's swinging out and I'm swinging.
Yeah, I mean, we'll walk through it. I just want to go through this kind of like the smorgasbord. We'll identify things that are way off the norm of a model swing, and then at the end of this session, for a real lesson, we go back and we look at 1.5 concepts. Right now, it's going to be an overload because I'm going to point out things that aren't quite right. In reality, you're doing more things right than wrong. Of the 12 things a person can screw up, you've got probably 9 that are perfect. So anyway, so bear with me. So this is the first thing. Now what I do is I give you a snapshot. So we capture. So then you can print this out. You can print this out, and that's part of the homework. Is you go and put that in on the mirror and pose that position. So that's how we fix everything.
Okay.
So in addition to the video, you'll have some photos to work from. Okay, so then we go to, so that's position 2. Now look, so now you're getting it back. See, it's now parallel to the yellow line. That's perfect, but you had to manipulate it to do it that way. Okay. And this is what I noticed. So at this point, your grip has kind of come loose. So when you're showing me a grip, that looked good, but when you're swinging, you got some stuff going on. That should be 1 unit. So you can look at that later. But look, this is really quite good. So the head has barely moved at all. It's gone up maybe an inch or 3/4 of an inch. That's livable. That right cheek is back. That's great. It's on plane. It's great. So that position looks really good, right? So here's this guy. Okay, so we don't have to change anything there, but you had to work hard to get it there. You're way off plane, almost 90 degrees off plane, then you got it back on. So that's wasted movement that introduces inconsistency. Okay, so then you take it to the top, like the shoulder tilt. I mean, see, there's actually a gap between your fingers, but we'll get to that later. But okay, that's really good top position. See how your left arm is parallel to the swing plane. Really good, Terry. I mean that, and the club face is a little shut. This is flying a bit, but all that is livable. That's not causing any trauma at all. So that's a good top. So at this point, the head's gone up maybe 2 inches and closer to the ball. So and you're actually a little laid off, which is fabulous. So that top position is It's pretty doggone good.
And so you said 2 inches, what's his, 0?
Close.
Yeah.
They'll come up a little bit, but hardly anything on the backswing. Okay, so now when you come down, where am I? Okay.
That's where the problem is.
Yeah. So when you come down, okay, so let's drop a vertical here. Okay, that's deep enough. Okay. You're coming in steep, as it turns out, and one of the causes of steep is not deep enough, but that's deep enough. That's fine. Okay, so when you come down, so see this green line? That's where the butt of the club started. So the butt of the club started at address here. So bear with me. Watch, the butt of the club is now out. You got to get it essentially from here back to the green line to hit the ball. Do you know what's saying? The geometry here? But here's the litmus test. When you get here, okay, when you get here, here's the shaft. This is too steep. This is the definition of too steep. Here's the shaft. It's, whoops, it's almost vertical. It's club head, okay. It's coming in this way. And what it needs to be is right along this forearm. This is the #1 ingredient or test if you're too steep or not. Every pro, no matter what the swing looks like, will come down and it'll right on his forearm. See that? See that? Okay. Now, here's the problem with too steep is you're out here. If you don't do anything, you're going to stick a fork in the ground behind the ball, and then if you jump out of the way, then you're going to end up hitting it left. Okay? And so, you know, as opposed to him, you know, he gets down to right here in the delivery spot. So he's right here, it's right on his forearm. Now, all he does is rotate through like this. Here, you've got to lift your head up. You don't want to do this, and you flip at it, and so throw a loft on it all. That's the #1 thing of your inconsistency is way too steep. Then you're using you're trying to save it with your hands and throwing loft at it. And a lot of times with wedges, it'll be that short little spinner off to the right thing. Okay, so that's the #1 thing. Now, you can see you're trying to save it because you're getting the dreaded belt buckle belly to the ball. See you're on the back wall. Then you're coming in steep. You go, oh shit! If I clear my hips like this, it's going to go left and more left. So what you do is try to save it. So you go like this. Now watch your butt come away from the back wall, and then coincidentally, you'll lose your posture. See your butt? See that butt comes away from the back wall? You're trying to save it. So it's like this. Now, if you keep the spine angle the same and your belly goes to the ball, you're going to fall over. So you come out of it. So you lose your spine angle. So it looks like this. And then you're just flipping it. We'll show you from the other side. So your butt's, you know, like 4 inches from the wall. Look at this guy. I mean, he gets it down in that delivery area. Come on. He gets that double cheek at impact, and right? So this is nirvana, double cheek at impact. You can't, because if you double cheek at impact, it's going to go friggin' out here. So all the good guys, they're here, here. They're swinging through, and look, his spine angle will get, he still has the same spine angle. A lot of them will get more. With irons, they'll actually get more. Look, you have no spine angle. It's straight up and down. So that's the essence of your inconsistency. And the cause is just too steep. And we'll go through that after we finish. But let's continue the video and the smorgasbord. Now, trying to fix anything after this position is a joke. You know, like if Joe Johnson was trying to fix your follow through, which he tries to do, is a joke. That's a symptom. He's trying to fix a symptom, and the cause is too steep. So that's what we're going to address. But let's see, you know, you're a good athlete, so you figured out a method to save it. So you stand up and flip. Now, here's the good thing is look, your head's back, that's usable, okay? There's no trauma. So your head's staying in about the same spot, but you got this thing going on. So
it's too much movement, or
no, because you're coming in steep. How in the hell am I going to get this straight? And you figured out that's going to get it straight, as opposed to drop it in here and just rotate through. You're going, how do I get this thing straight? Well, good athletes end up something like that. So,
so is it a hard fix?
There's so many good things with your swing, it's not as hard as normal. Okay, so then through the swing, you get it back on plane, and you get this body rotation, which is good. It's just late, and you're actually too close to the ball. So the good news is all we have to do is fix the too steep, and then I think naturally you'll keep your butt against the back wall. Okay, so that's the whole swing. Everything else is fine. I mean, you keep your head in the ball, and let's look from the other angle. Let's see, how much time do we have? Oh shit.
Listen, I'll pay. Oh, you mean on that video?
Yeah. Let me get back and just quickly on the same video. Let's get here. Okay, there should be no surprises, but there'll be surprises to you. Okay, so we draw some lines here. Okay, so you got a little sway. See how that right hip is, it started on that yellow line, well, it's now 2 inches there, right? So sometimes it may be 2, sometimes it may be 1, so, you know, so there's an inconsistency there, as opposed to the hip starts there, the backswing, you should be able to put a ball between where it started and there. So and you can see kind of the weight is getting to the outside of your foot. You know, you got kind of a breakdown there, but that's okay. Then as you come through, okay, so now here's a flip. See, you come in, you know, you got pretty good lag here. Now you're kind of standing up and flipping at it. See, watch the club will pass your hands. And not bad though. Okay, so the good thing here, your right arm is, your right shoulder is releasing through. We like that. So there's no great trauma there. I don't like that, it never resets, but we're going to worry about that later. Yeah, everything else is fine. So let me save this off.